we've had a listener reach out to us and share an experience that I wanted to share with listeners because she was astounded that this was happening. She was on a popular website buying something like she always does. And when she pushed submit to make this purchase, she got a message stating that the transaction could not go through unless she entered her Apple account password. She was then told $250 would show up as a temporary charge, which Apple required to put the transaction through. She shared that she was reluctant, but not reluctant enough because she uses this website all the time. She's done many transactions successfully on there before, and she was in a time crunch. So she thought she was in conversation through these notices with a representative from the company. So she had a little bit of concern, but she went forward anyway. She saw the charges that she told were going to be temporary on her account. She then checked with Apple. She checked in with the vendor. She checked in with her bank. And the answer she got from all of them was that once she provided her Apple password, there was nothing further they could do. They knew, all of these parties knew about the ability for this hack to occur and interfere, but there was no communication with her about it. So she asked that we share her story because she wanted to help protect listeners by this astounding event. Now, luckily, she had that skepticism and she was checking, and I think all she was out was $250. But think through all the transactions we do every day with our digital wallets, with companies we know and trust, relying on banks we know and trust. And then things like this happen because fraudsters are really smart.
They're really
They're
smart.
onto things.
Sandy, if we could roll back time, what are the flags that we should look for in something like that? Because I'm not sure. I'm even hearing that story. I'm ordering, and it's saying, "Oh, there's an issue," and so just enter this. I keep getting told that I need to enter a password about my Google account, and I'm like, I don't know why. Nothing's being blocked, so I just don't.
I think asking for the Apple account password was the big flag.
So password in particular,
yeah, because she has presumably Apple Pay set up, right? And so there's like a financial tie in there. Yeah. Certainly if someone's asking for a password and you enter it, depending upon the situation, they could be accessing your personal private information, which would not be great. But in this case, from a financial perspective, I think that was the big flag. And so I think, kind of stopping, getting out of the transaction, trying to go back in to see if you can,
that's a good one.
Sort of rebuy.
Recreate it or
does that happen again? And then if it continues to persist, I think reaching out to the representative at the company or even calling the bank would be a good idea beforehand. I just think vigilance
smart.
Goes so far. It's it takes more time, right? It would slow down your transaction. Depending upon what you're buying, you might miss the opportunity to buy it if it's some sort of timely purchase, like a concert ticket or a sporting event, something like that. But in my experience, taking the time on the front end to be vigilant saves a lot of time and energy on the back end if fraud does occur and you're trying to clean it up later.
All right. It's almost that awareness. You said the listener was in a time crunch. I got to remember that. Pause. It's not that important. Even though your list of things, it's like, I just got to take care of this and move on. Oh.
And she kind of had that sense of like, this feels out of the ordinary.
Yes.
Right. And so
Trust your gut.
Yeah. I think so. And so I really appreciate her for reaching out and wanting to share this message with other people. I don't want to share the name of the company because I don't, not trying to like point fingers at anybody, any companies or banks or Apple or anyone else, but just be vigilant out there.